Good morning, everyone. Every mother and parents expect normal newborn after delivery, but some environmental and direct causes are responsible. Uh, Neonate may take births with the congenital defects. So today we are going to discuss about the one of the congenital defects, that is cleft lip. Now we'll see the introduction. Cleft lip are facial and oral congenital malformations resulting from the failure of fusion of maxillary processes during intrauterine development. The defect may occur alone or together. Next, we'll see the definition. A cleft lip result from failure of fusion of maxillary processes with nose elevation on frontal prominence. The extent of defect varies from a notch in the lip, partial or incomplete cleft, to a large cleft reaching the floor of nose, complete cleft. Cleft lip can occur on one side, that is unilateral, or maybe both the side, that is bilateral. Now you can observe the picture. In first picture, it is shown that unilateral cleft lip, and in another picture, bilateral cleft lip. Now we'll see the incidence. The incidence of cleft lip is 1 in 750 births. Cleft lip predominantly seen in males. Approximately 15% of the affected infants have associated defects. Next, we'll see the etiology. Cleft lip and cleft palate are facial and oral malformations that occur in fetus very early in pregnancy. The cause is unknown. Cleft occur due to combination of genetic and environmental factors. The chance of cleft in newborn is more if a parent of sibling has had the problems. Potential cause may be medications taken by mother during pregnancy, like anticonvulsant. Next, acne medications containing Accutane. We'll continue the etiology. Drug used for treating cancer, arthritis, and psoriasis. It is, for example, methotrexate. Exposure to viruses or chemicals while fetus is developing in the womb. Exposure to X-ray. Next etiological cause, that is maternal medical conditions like anemia, hypoproteinemia. Maternal intake of alcohol, maternal smoking during pregnancy increase the risk of cleft lip up to 2 times. Next, we'll see the embryology. The face develop between 4 and 8 weeks of gestation from 5 prominences. They are first frontonasal prominence, next paired maxillary prominence, next paired mandibular prominence around the stomodem. Now we'll see the pathophysiology. Embryological development. Lower lip and nose fuses with 5 major facial prominences. Just we have seen in previous slides. Lip development. Next is a lip development, 3rd and 7 weeks of gestation. Palate development, 5th and 12th weeks of gestation. Next is the failure of fusion of the maxillary and premaxillary processes, failure of the palatal processes of fusion that leads to complete or partial non-union, may affect the palatal bone, upper lip along with the maxilla, premaxilla, and tissue of the soft palate and uvula. So because of this, we observe the defect, that is cleft lip and cleft palate. Next, complications. What will happen once child suffers with the symbol defect or bilateral defects. So complications, feeding problems, there is chances of the regurgitation because of the defect with the single or double. Respiratory infection, child may aspirate the feeding. And here, because of the cleft lip, child unable to create the vacuum and child unable to suck. So because of the aspiration pneumonia, respiratory infections, ear infections, that is most common because of the combined defect, middle ear infection. If it is untreated, child suffers with the hearing loss. Speech problem, dental problems. Dental problem may be missing of the teeth or extra teeth. Otherwise, cavities. Next, diagnostic evaluation. Prenatal diagnosis of a cleft is at times possible by maternal ultrasonography. After birth of the child, physical examination is important related to mouth, palate, and nose confirm the presence of cleft lip or palate. The next is a gloved finger placed in the mouth to feel the defect or visual examinations with flashlight will confirm the diagnosis. Next, we'll see the management. As several of oral health and medical problems are associated with cleft lip or cleft palate, a team of doctors and other specialists is involved in management of these children. The member of the team include, because child will get cure with the multi-team work. Multi-team group for treating the child. Okay, we'll see one by one. A plastic surgeon to perform necessary surgeries, and otolaryngologist to evaluate hearing problems and manage them. Upper jaw when needed. An oral surgeon to reposition segments, and orthodontist to strengthen and reposition teeth. A dentist to perform routine dental care. Next, we will continue the management. A prosthodontist to make artificial teeth and dental prosthesis to improve the appearance and meet functional requirement for eating and speaking. Next point we'll see in the management. A speech pathologist to assist speech problems. A speech therapist to work with the child to improve speech, and audiologist to assist and monitor hearing. A nurse coordinator for coordinating the services of all members of health team. A geneticist to help parents understand the risk of having more children with similar problems. Continue the management. Cleft lip may require 1 or 2 surgeries depending on the severity of defect. Next, the initial surgery is usually performed at the age of 3 months. Common procedure for repair of cleft lip are Tennyson-Randall triangular flap, that is Z-plasty, and Millard's rotational advancement technique. Surgeon may also combine these 2 techniques if needed. You can observe the pictures. Surgical repair, Z-plasty. Okay, next we'll shift to nursing management. Care of the baby at birth. Cleft lip and cleft palate is detected immediately after birth during initial neonatal assessment. Associated congenital anomalies and life-threatening complications should be identified for prompt management. This is a disfiguring defect. So soon after birth, the baby looks unattractive. The defect evokes negative reaction and shock in parents. The nurse must explain to the parents about possibility of defect correction. Feeding of the infant with cleft lip and cleft palate is a problem. because this defect reduces the infant's ability to suck. Breastfeeding is possible with the use of palatal prosthesis, palatal obturator. If the baby is unable to suck, the breast express the breast milk may be given using syringe with a rubber tube. Next, we'll continue the nursing management. Expressed breast milk or artificial feeding can also be given with a long handled spoon or dropper or soft nipple with a large hole. Mother and family members should be demonstrated the various techniques that can be used for feeding the baby at home. Explain the parents about the risk of aspiration due to cleft palate. So they must be instructed to feed the baby in upright position. Small bolus should be given from the corner of the mouth. Give the baby sufficient time to swallow. From frequent feeds should be given. Small frequent feeds should be given. Birth the baby in between and the feeds and after feeding. That is very important for prevention of regurgitation and aspiration of the feeding. Parents must be explained the importance of adequate nutrition for growth and development of the baby. The baby must be given all essential care, including immunization, warmth, hygiene, prevention of infections. Explain about timely follow-up to the parents. Care of the baby before surgery. Now we'll see the care of the baby before surgery. Basic preoperative care is required. The baby must be prepared according to the surgeon's order. Consent may be taken prior to the surgery. All the investigations report must be entered in patient's file. The baby must be kept nil per orally at least 6 hours prior to surgery. Care of the baby after surgery. Immediately after the surgery, closely observe the monitor the vital signs of the baby. Observe any bleeding from the site of surgery. Turn the baby's face to one side. For drainage of secretion and prevention of aspiration. Most importantly, the surgical site is to be protected from any injury by taking the following measures. In that, first, position the baby on back or side. The arm or elbow restraint are applied to prevent him or her from touching the suture site. This restraint must be periodically removed to exercise the arm. Next measure we'll see in that our arched metallic device known as the Logan's bow must be placed over the upper lip and tapped to the infant's cheeks to prevent tension at the suture line. So now you can observe the picture, Logan's bow and elbow restraint. Care of the baby. Next, we'll see the care of the baby after surgery. Administer the prescribed analgesics to minimize pain that causes the baby to cry, causing tension on the suture line. Prevent infection at the site by cleaning the operated area gently. Using aseptic techniques after each feeding. Do not allow the baby to put any object in mouth, as this may injure the surgical repair. Provide love and affection to the baby, as this enhance the feeling of comfort and security in the baby. Okay, have you understood? If you have any query, you can ask.